All right. Well, good morning and welcome to another version of 1550 Marketing Live. I'm excited to be here with you this morning, and I have a great guest in studio with me, and we're excited to be here with you today. Every day you have an opportunity to show up live. It's a wonderful day, and I have a fantastic guest with me today. So thank you for tuning in. I tell you what, just get your pen ready because we are excited. We have some fun, some interesting, some great information to share with you this morning. So welcome, Miss Sophia Carlson, to the show. Hello.
Hello, Cedric. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to talk with you today. And tell us where are you at right now?
So, right now I am in Luxembourg, so in Europe, but I am Swedish though, and I really want to mention that. But I'm a proud Swede living in beautiful Luxembourg.
Awesome. So she's Swedish and living in Luxembourg, and I'm over here in the great country of Texas, and we're excited to be here with you this morning. So Sophia has some great stuff, information to share with you today. So let's just get started here. Sophia, you're an interesting, dynamic business owner, and but the audience needs to know who you are and hear about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Sure. Yes. So right now I have a company which is called Sophia Karlsson People Development, and I'm focusing on leadership development and talent coaching. However, I have spent 20 years in the financial industry, specifically in asset management. And that was all great. And I really loved my job for many, many years. But I would say that the past, since 5 years back or so, I started to notice more and more how I cared so much more for the people, for the team, for developing myself and the team than I cared about the actual financial products. So, in one way, I was very motivated, and in another way, I could get really bogged down. So this part of my journey, and I'm so grateful for that corporate experience that I have. But now it's time for me to be independent, and I'm still working with them, but from the outside.
Sure, absolutely. So you're telling me that in Luxembourg, people care more about the people as well and not just about the product.
Well, I wish it was, and I think that many do. I would say that most people probably do, but they don't know how to express that at work, because many people have a habit of going to work and putting on some sort of costume or mask and be very what they think is professional, but
Yes.
not necessarily how we help other people grow and be productive. So a very traditional way of having leadership. And I mean, I'm not at all accusing Luxembourg to be unique of that. I think it's a very much what we would see in the corporate world all over the world.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk about that mask in just a minute. But before we do that, people buy it from people they know, like, and trust, right? So tell us something fun and interesting and exciting about Sophia.
Well, I would say that I'm very open and I am very tolerant towards people. I'm very curious about people, and I find it super exciting when people stick out and are different. I don't necessarily have to agree with them, but I find, people very exciting. Um, then I have traveled around the world. I have lived in many different countries. My husband is from Senegal. We live in Luxembourg. I speak French at home. I speak Swedish with my Swedish family. I speak English when I work. So I would say that I don't have many, limitations when it comes to connecting with people.
Wow. So if I heard this right, folks, she said that she speaks three different languages fluently.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then since I'm Swedish, I also understand Norwegian and Danish, but that's
Hey. See, I said at the top of the show that Sophia is a dynamic, interesting person, and you can see that right here. So, hey, Sophia, we're here to talk about an event that you have coming up real soon that people can learn how to take off that mask and be their authentic self, right? And also leaders can take off that mask and show that they have a softer side, that they care about the people, that they are concerned about their people more than just the product or the service or the business unit that they're in. So let's talk about your upcoming event. What is the event that you're hosting, and when is it?
Yes. So on the 28th of February, it's a Monday, noon Central European time, which I think is 6 a.m. Eastern and maybe 5 a.m. for you, Cedric, but it's not a problem since you are an early bird. And the event is a webinar, free webinar on Everyone Communicates If You Connect. The purpose of the webinar is, of course, to share the proven principles and practices when it comes to how to connect with people and not just communicate. Because what we often see is that people are, I would say, a bit lazy in their way of communicating and falling into bad habits and not so much taking responsibility for the communication themselves. They just want to get something across. But this is a webinar where the audience will be able to pick up something that they can use immediately when it comes to connecting with their colleagues, managers, or even at home, of course. I mean, this works even on your kids, I promise.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm excited for that event. And you're right, I am an early bird. So, folks here in the great country of Texas, make sure when we put this on the screen, you pop in and register for this exciting event. And what is the name of your event?
So it's Everyone Communicates If You Connect. It's very much based on the practices and principles from our friend John Maxwell. But I will and I do adapt it to the corporate world and especially then to very much the financial industry where we see certain types of leaderships.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And people are unengaged at work. There's lots of studies that talk about this unengagement, especially in our millennial population and in our iGen population, which is the Generation Z, right? And I think I saw some data that said that 70% of Europeans are unengaged at work. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it's a very small portion that feel engaged. So you have the engaged, you have the unengaged, and you have the disengaged. And the disengaged, you really need to take care so that your staff is not becoming disengaged, because that means that they are actively negative and actively influencing others, being unengaged and disengaged with them. The unengaged, though, it's easy and possible to save them, so to say. But you have to be intentional about that and you have to really make an effort. And it is with communication. Yes, it is an effort. You cannot stay lazy. Same thing with leadership. But I usually say it's like having an insurance. You pay before so that the cost would not be so big later. While if you don't make that effort of leading with intention and connecting before you communicate, you will pay the price later, and that's going to be huge. That is high turnover on staff, low engagement, which is low productivity, and everything else that comes with it, sickness leave, sabotage, even when it goes that far that people are not following the leaders.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So, folks, the webinar link is in the comments. So you can click on it's live now. So you are able to click on that link and register right now. It's a no charge event, it's a complimentary event. All you need to do is commit to the time. And let me tell you what, Everyone communicates, but few connect. If you want to be a connector with your people, if you want to better connect with your colleagues, if you want to better connect with your spouse, your children, your significant other, anyone you work with or come in contact with on a regular basis, this webinar, really, it's not a webinar, it's a masterclass in communication. It's a masterclass in helping you better understand why communication is so important. You know, there's some data that says that that shows that um, um, uh, 5 skill sets that connectors use or have or display or exhibit that unconnectors don't exhibit that. And let me share a couple of those with you. One is they're visionary. The other one is that they are pragmatists, right? The other one is they're very charismatic, right? Like our host of this event, Sophia, is very charismatic and she's a connector. So you want to be around those connectors, and people who are highly successful have those 3 things, definitely, right? We won't share all of them with you. You have to go to the webinar so you can get the rest of those things. Now, why should a leader, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, on that, I would like to encourage people who feel like they are not, this outgoing extrovert, because exactly those principles and practices that I will teach on in the webinar, and I will mention this more in the webinar, is that if you are, technically strong, if you have something where you can prove that you have delivered in the past and you have something that people would admire or really look up to, then that is also a way of connecting. So if, let's say that you are a very technically skilled person, but maybe not the most extrovert, easygoing chit chatter in the office, just by making yourself approachable and helping your colleague where they need help with something where you are really strong, that makes you a really great connector. So you don't have to be, the clown of the office or the entertainer. It can be enough that you just are willing to help and share where you are strong.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So why should leaders be concerned with connecting with their team?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we know, Cedric, right? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you as a leader need to show how much you care about your team. Otherwise, they will not trust you, they will not follow you, and they will not be there for you when you need them. Then your leadership will be so short term and will only be effective while you push and push and push. But if you are connected to your team and they really feel that they are close to you and that you care about them, that they can trust you, that you help them, well, then your leadership goes so long, far into the future as well, so that they will walk the extra mile the day you need them.
Yes,
Even
you're absolutely right. Absolutely love that, folks. You need to get registered for Everyone Communicates Few Connect Masterclass. The link is in the comments. Just click on it and you can register. Just click on it and you can register. There's no cost to you. It's a complimentary event masterclass that you are going to walk away feeling better, more confident in your ability to communicate and connect with your team. So, what is the goal? If you had to list out 1 or 2 goals for this webinar, what would that be?
Yeah, so it is that everyone feels that immediately after the webinar, they feel like, I'm going to try that one. Excuse me. That they feel like, there's hope, that people feel like, I'm actually responsible here. I would say that it's very empowering when we realize that we have a part in improving the communication with the people that are hard to communicate with. I mean, of course, there are people that will always be challenging to connect with and to communicate with, But you cannot put all the responsibility on that person, because I think there is a lot of laziness, fear, and give up in ourselves when we say like, ah, he's impossible, she's so difficult, you know. So I would hope that people come out from this webinar feeling like, I'm gonna make an effort, I'm gonna put in
Yes.
an extra. Mm.
Awesome. I absolutely love that. Sophia, one time I heard you say if you prioritize and invest in your people, they will do everything to help you succeed.
Yeah, isn't it so? I mean, I see this all the time, that when the people don't feel prioritized, when they don't feel heard, when they don't feel connected with their managers, they just gonna do what keeps, basically, yeah, the wheel turning. They're just gonna do the minimum effort, that where they still feel that it's reasonable. However, when you invest in your people, you invest time, also money in your people by training and coaching or whatever they might need, they will stay longer. They will be, you will grow the loyalty with them. You will make them grow so that they become even better at the work they are doing, and they will find it more fun to be at work and to be with you. So, of course, the more you invest in your people, time and money, the more they will do for you, and they will walk the extra mile when you need it. I think it's quite simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, folks, we have laid it out for you. This event is going to be awesome. You're going to walk away with a lot of tangible things that you can use in your everyday walk with your team. Everyone communicates, but few connect. Thank you for showing up. The link is in the comments. Click on the link. There's no cost to you. She said she is going to just pour into you. This is a complimentary event. All you have to do is invest the time. And let me tell you what, you will not regret it. Thank you, Sophia, for coming here today. I'm excited for this event, and I know that people are going to register for this. So thank you for showing up and showing out with folks today.
Thank you so much, Cedric. See you on the 28th.